Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
You don't?
Okay, we're live. Go.
Hello. And welcome back to another episode of what is possibly the most unprofessional, laid back, and off-the-cuff board game podcast out of the probably 35, I think about 35 different podcasts regarding board games out there. And we're ranked number 36. This is Jerry.
This is Gabby.
This is Enrique.
No. No, nobody gave you permission to talk. I'm just going to say this right now. We've had some issues here. We've had some disgruntledness. I am not gruntled.
Whatever.
I'm not.
You're super gruntled.
I'm not. No, disgruntled is when you're mad.
Yeah.
When you're gruntled, you're fine.
I know. That's what. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, gruntled's a word.
You're disgruntled.
Yes, and when you're gruntled, you're satisfied.
I'm always gruntled.
You are the most gruntled person I know.
I'm very satisfied.
I know. You're content.
Oh, thank you.
I am not content.
You're never content.
No, not.
Never.
Never.
You're super disgruntled.
This guy
This
is disgruntled. And this is why I'm disgruntled. I am disgruntled with a mechanic. It's not a mechanic. It is no, it's not even a mechanism. It is something that happens in poorly designed board games. Not only say poorly designed board games. It just happens. And it is something called king making.
Oh.
And the king
Enrique make you think of that?
King of king making is Enrique.
That's why his microphone got turned off.
That's why his microphone got turned off. Because you know why?
Actually, it's all on Enrique. You can defend yourself.
No. You have no leg to stand on to defend yourself. You don't.
You're right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's why he's a kingmaker.
That is why
he just goes with
just goes with it. So that is probably the most irritating thing, to have a plan, to play a game, to have your strategy worked out, and to have somebody
Enrique
come along and mess that up for no other reason. They don't win, but they let someone else win.
It's just somebody with a grudge.
He doesn't have a grudge.
Oh, yeah, he does.
He doesn't have a grudge. He doesn't even know what a grudge is.
Do you have grudges, Enrique?
Mm-mm.
Not really.
Don't answer that.
He doesn't have a grudge.
No, seriously, do you have one?
No.
That's good.
I have a grudge.
Against
You
who?
always have a grudge.
Mainly against Bubba.
Why?
Why is that?
It's because he's always after me.
Why Bubba do
Persecutes me
that? In gaming or life?
in gaming.
Yeah. He always goes after you, leaving the way open for me to sneak by. Enrique King makes me.
You have never snuck by.
Whatever.
The only way.
I sneak by all the time. I'm like the spy in Manhattan Project.
Just there. Oh, segue!
Hey, Matt.
We just played the... Hang on a second. It is called the Manhattan Project. Manhattan Project 2. Minutes to Midnight. And the name is invocative of that term.
Invocative or evocative?
What's evocative?
Well, I think you know.
Oh,
This right here, a little off the shoulder.
I'm enticed.
Yeah, that's evocative.
All right. See? Enticed, invoked. I don't even know where we're going with this. Other than the fact that Minutes to Midnight references the
Open your eyes
idea
and look.
that there is you have thrown me off.
My bare shoulder has evoked you. Go ahead. Minutes to Midnight is invocative of what?
I don't know. It's
It's the DEF CON. Armageddon is the midnight on the destruction clock or whatever that is.
Ben Affleck?
Yes.
Armageddon?
Ben Affleck, the insurance guy.
No! Ben Affleck! Batman!
Oh, yeah.
Not the duck.
Well, what are you talking about?
Ben Affleck in Armageddon with Bruce Willis.
Yes. Ben Affleck?
What I call him.
You said Affleck, like the duck, the insurance duck.
I didn't know that's how it was pronounced.
Or is that a goose?
It's a goose.
Insurance
No,
goose?
it's the duck. It's a duck.
Oh, Affleck.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
difference
he's
between a
quack
duck and a
quacking.
goose.
I'm quite aware.
Because if someone says duck, duck, goose, and then you got to take off chasing them.
Punch him in the face.
Yep. Just like Ben Affleck did.
But that's the clock that they say, oh, we're moving a minute closer to midnight.
Which means death.
The world's going to blow up.
I wish the world would have blown up when we were playing Minutes to Midnight because it felt like it was getting close to midnight. It was a long, drawn out.
2 minutes. That was a long 2 minutes, all I'm going to say.
Long Minutes to Midnight. All right, so if you're not familiar with the Manhattan Project, it was a Kickstarter game a few years back that was really good. Really enjoyed it. Then they came out with another one with the same name, similar. It was Manhattan Project Energy Empire. In the Manhattan Project, you're making nuclear bombs. You're equipping nuclear bombs. It's kind of like you're having like a Cold War. You can attack other players, but it was not so much... The
first one had the take that of bombing other people's stuff.
Right. And then the Energy Empire kind of had the whole, I'm just in your way, and very solitary, but it had a very decent solo game to it. So slightly different things, but the main mechanic of all three of these games in this series, they are engine builders. They're very good engine builders. Matter of fact, the Manhattan Project, which also has an app on Android and an iPhone or iPad or whatever you call it, the iOS, really good app. I was just talking about it to Gabi. That's one of the best board game apps I think I've ever had. Manhattan Project is a classic game. The Energy Empire is a great game. I'm very disappointed in Minutes to Midnight, mainly because it seems like they've added all these extra mechanics in the game. So the idea is that you're creating intercontinental ballistic missiles to kind of basically score victory points. You're not really even attacking each other. You're just building things up to have the most up to score victory points. And you can send planes that are equipped with nuclear bombs into the other player's airspace to score victory points. You score victory points on a timer that's on the board. So after a certain amount of round, you score whoever has the most ICBMs. On the next victory, few rounds down, you score whoever has the most like defenses or whatever it was, or whoever has the most nuclear submarines that are in enemy territory. So like you're shuffling these submarine cards up and you're hiding them in other players' decks, and so they have to go through it. So you're bluffing them. You don't know if they put a decoy card in your deck or if they put a real attack.
It's really not as thrilling as it doesn't even sound.
I know that was actually my least favorite. That mechanic. It seemed like they had taken the Manhattan Project, which is a classic game, but it suffered from having worker placement, by the way. And it was a really nice worker placement because you put your workers out there. The rules were very simple. The board was very clean. You put your worker out there, you do the action. After you ran out of workers, you could take an option to take your workers off the board. This game does it differently to where you put the workers on the space. You don't take the action until after you're ready to retrieve all of your workers, and then you do the actions, which was was different. I like that idea, but it was kind of different. This game, Minutes to Midnight, added way too much stuff to the game. Manhattan Project was very clean, straightforward. Energy Empire, a little more convoluted with the rules, not so much in your face. I really enjoyed the solo game in Energy Empire. It was pretty good. This is my least favorite of the series.
Yeah, it's my least favorite too. My favorite is probably the first one.
Right.
Even though I didn't really care for the whole bombing part because I always got bombed. And but I like the spy thing that's in all the game. Well, actually, could you spy in the second one? I don't think you could.
I don't think that you could. But the spy aspect is that you can create different type of workers. Scientists, of course, research, engineers help with building, and regular laborers that just...
I kind of like it because it's kind of annoying. You can get up in other people's factories and
stuff. You can use other people's stuff, which is...
That's Enrique's move.
That's nice. I like that. That was a good mechanic. I was just really disappointed in this one. Looking back, I don't think that this Minute to Midnight has gotten the same well-rounded appreciation and reviews, and even on the Kickstarter was not as successful as the previous games. Energy Empire was a few years ago, and a lot of people, it snuck in on them. A lot of people really liked Energy Empire. Yeah. And there are some people that were claiming like the Manhattan Project was like a Grail game. I mean, when it went out of print there, it was kind of difficult to get. Highly recommend, if you're into take-that games or that really solid worker placements, the Manhattan Project, the original one. If you like a good solo game, if you're not so much into that theme, but you still want a good worker placement, you cannot go wrong with the Energy Empire. It's still out there. This is probably my least favorite, and so much so, I think it has fallen. It kind of just, it's not something I would even...
Why'd you get rid of the other two? Or the other one? Well, you got rid of one.
I got rid of the Energy Empire.
You still got the original?
I have to dig around for it. I might have
So you
sold it.
just presumed this one would trump both of them.
Yeah, it didn't.
So now you got to buy the other one back.
Nah, it's good.
The first Manhattan Project was like one of my early on favorites.
It was, but you never wanted to play it
Then
again.
we never played it.
Because you kept getting mad because I bombed you.
No.
You whined.
Actually, Bubba bombed you. You and Bubba just bombed each other, and I won. That's
yeah.
what happened the last time.
I don't recall
After
that.
I won, Jerry was done.
I don't recall that.
Oh, this game ain't that good.
I don't recall that. I don't
Any
recall
game
that.
I win, Jerry gets upset.
I do not. I don't care if you
do
win.
too.
I only
So
care if I
angry.
win.
He gets so angry.
You do get a little bit.
Who turned your mic on?
Wait, say that again, Enrique.
Well, you do get mad when
Yeah,
when
he
you
does.
lose.
Turn his
Go ahead, Enrique.
mic
Spill your heart out, Enrique.
Nobody cares.
How do you
about
feel?
You know it's the truth too. You know it.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
You get really
Yes.
salty about it too.
Express your hate, Enrique.
No, I'm just speaking
Let it
truth.
flow through you. Oh, he's speaking the truth.
Truth. I've witnessed this.
I know. We all have. He's just blind to his own actions, Enrique.
Blind with rage.
Look at him. He don't want to say.
Manhattan Project 2. Minutes to Midnight.
Boo. Manhattan Project 2? Boo.
I was trying to segue that into something and I can't.
We don't have...
I like for our podcast.
I'm going to buy you a Segway.
I like for our podcast to flow, just like
Oh,
the
yeah.
flow of history.
Oh, my God.
Segue.
Oh, my God.
The Flow of History, which is the other game that we just played, by TMG Games. Apparently, it wasn't. I don't know if it was an older game that had been out previously, or there was a
Yes.
different design.
I think it was old.
Anyways,
I'm not going to look it up.
I like the art. I like the idea of the mechanic, and the mechanic in it is cards come out, and instead of bidding on the cards, you invest in them. So on your turn, you can take one action, so you have so many. It's money, but they just refer to it as resources. So you put your little marker on the card saying, I want this card. And then you put so much money or resources on that card. You have to wait till the next turn to go around to claim that card. Somebody else at the table can match your resources that you put on that card and steal it from you, basically. So you don't want to put too little resources on a card because somebody will just trump you and take it. You don't want to put too much because everybody else might not care about it and you just wasted all your time.
You could put no money on a card, I say.
No, you can't. The rules say you have to invest. To invest.
It's at any amount.
And 0 is not an amount.
Well, my accountant begs to differ.
Have you ever invested 0 in something?
Yes.
Like this podcast? How much time do you...
0 invested.
When I invest in editing...
Now, the last one was tough.
The last one was tough. All right. Oh,
When it's midnight and it's supposed to be out, and I've done overproduced it, and my voice is sound like...
if you
I
listen...
was like, uh-oh,
If you
I
listen-
did something wrong.
If you listen to the last podcast, you'll appreciate some various outtakes such as vacuuming in the background, me eating an orange, and Gabi's dad doing the outro of singing some Brazilian love music.
He's Chilean.
Chilean?
Yes. He's not Brazilian.
They're close. They're similar. They're very close
That's
down there.
racist.
No, they're on the
How
same
dare
continent.
you.
There's like Chile's on the west side, Brazil's on the east side.
That's what they do.
Your dad's a good singer.
No, that's where I get it
He
from.
he made his debut.
Hi.
No.
What?
No.
I can do it.
No, do it. Don't do it. Just because it's not your forte.
Oh, what is my forte? I'm still looking. I have no forte.
The flow of history.
That is not my forte.
It was not my forte either. As we were playing it, Gabi, who doesn't like innovation, said, this kind of feels like innovation.
Not in general, the card game. I frown upon innovation in general. Thomas Edison couldn't stand him. Oh, good stuff.
I did not I like the mechanic in the
How
flow
many
of
times are we going to
history.
say mechanic? Is there another word? Is there a
Mechanism.
synonym?
The M? The main...
The way it works.
The way it works? Okay. The way it works. I enjoyed the way it
mechanism.
works, but
Me
I
too.
found the game to be somewhat boring.
Yes.
It drug on. Again,
It was like it had similar things to Innovation, the card game,
Just a little bit.
but it just was boring. We were playing it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm bored.
Enrique,
Oh, hold on. Let me turn
his mic on.
There you go.
Okay.
innovation
Innovation.
or flow of history.
Innovation.
Turn his mic off.
Okay.
What?
Okay, thank you. So there you have it. Innovation. It's
Innovation. I enjoy the innovation of the on-off button. I'm glad somebody made that.
good. Who invented the off button?
Not me. I wish it would have. I'd be rich. I use it all the time. Imagine if there was no off button. We'd have ran out of electricity a long time ago.
We'd just be burning coal all the time.
It'd be gasoline and fossil fuel everywhere. Good thing those dinosaurs died a long time ago to give us coal. Is there any other kind of fuel besides fossil? Why is it going to be a
There's
fossil?
natural gas. Is natural gas? I don't think that's actually a fossil fuel, is it? Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it is. It is a fossil
It
fuel.
is a fossil fuel. Fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel.
Solar. Solar is a fuel. It's not
Nuclear.
fossil. Nuclear. Had been a great segue.
Let's
into
name
Minutes-
off. Let's name off fuels.
That would have been a great segue into Minutes to Midnight. Energy Empire. Wind. Earth, wind, and fire.
Exactly. Fire, that can be a fuel.
Yeah. That's what burns
It
inside
fuels
me.
hot air balloons.
Mm.
How else are you going to get anywhere? But what fuels the fire? Fossils.
Combustion.
Oh. What's combustion?
That's when things rub together really fast and then they
That's friction.
spark. Yes, and that creates heat.
Oh.
Science. I believe last podcast you claimed science was not my deal.
No. it's
History's not either.
not. Oh.
All right, so we got
Okay, so we played Manhattan Project 2, Minutes to Midnight. Pass.
Nah.
Flow of History. Pass.
Okay, this is going to sound.
And they just both come out, right?
They just both come out. This is going to sound really. All right, here it is. We've been on this kick lately with Enrique here. We've played a lot of card games. And so I've been trying to slowly go through my card games that I've had, or games that I just really haven't had a chance to play. Played Mythotopia, Martin Wallace, loved it. Absolutely loved it. If you're a fan of the Few Acres of Snow, the card game where the cards are multi-use, they have either resources on it or actions or locations. You have to play the card for this and then play the card for the location to activate. You play a card to do this action, then you play another card with the resources you need to fulfill that action. Loved it.
Okay.
Absolutely loved it. Played Innovation, first time in Enrique, loved it. I'm actually enjoyed Innovation way more than what I thought. I kind of got hooked on Glory to Rome there for a little bit back in the day. And so enjoyed Glory to Rome. They all said, it's hard to find. Just get Innovation.
Can't find no glory.
No.
Glory.
Just want a taste of the glory.
Don't you want a little taste of the glory?
So
See what
going,
that tastes like.
going through these stacks of old games that we
going.
had. We
Read
had
some
the
books.
game that Gabi did not want to, take the time to play, but I made him play.
What?
Yes, you didn't want to play it.
I didn't know what it was.
This is probably the...
Hold on, Enrique. What was that?
I'm pretty sure that you didn't want to play this
And
game.
you can just
Yeah, there you
mind
go.
your business.
Thank you, Enrique.
Somebody sent us a game to review.
Enrique, we should have you on more often. I appreciate your insights.
Do you mind?
Do I mind what? I've got the board. There. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Baker.
You get one drink.
Go ahead, Jerry.
And you lose
Well, let's go.
your mind.
Let's go. Oh, look who's talking.
That's
Look
it.
who's talking too. John Travolta. Bruce Willis is a baby. Who was the baby? Bruce Willis or John Travolta?
It was John Travolta, wasn't it?
He was the baby. No, Bruce Willis was the baby voice. John Travolta was the daddy.
And look who's talking.
Both of them. Kirstie Alley.
I don't like her.
Classics.
I'm really glad she lost a lot of weight.
Maybe she's fasting.
Somebody sent us a game they want us to review. Of course, it got stuck in the pile. We didn't review it. This game has
We have an influx of games to review.
the worst cover art I've ever seen in a
We
board
have
game.
them sending us games by the ones.
It has some of the poorest components that I've ever seen.
It's terrible.
It came from, I'll give you the website. Where's the website? Savvy with two V's.
When I said it
SAVVY
was terrible, no offense, Savvy.
GAMES.
I'll make up for it here in a second.
Okay, so I get this out. It's not attractive.
No.
And I'm making fun of it. And I'm like, so basically the game is this. You have a deck of cards. The cards go from 1 to 36. You shuffle the cards. You flip one out. And then you take a guess. Is the next card going to be higher or lower than the card you just flipped out?
The card's when you first brought it out, it looked almost identical to No Thanks.
Yeah. And so, of course, if you get one right, if you say it's going to be higher and the card is higher, you put it's not a poker chip, it's a plastic poker chip out there. And then you want to bank your points and your turn ends, or you want to keep on going because you're on a roll. So you say, all right, the next card, do you think it's going to be higher or lower? And then it's going to be higher. And then you add another chip. Of course, if you ever get one wrong, you lose everything that you've banked. If you bank all your points, it comes back around to you. Whoever gets 15 points wins the game. That is such a basic concept.
Base.
All right. And we've played No Thanks, and we just, long story short, we should not have liked this game. This is not a game that I looked at and thought,
for snobs. For a bunch of board game snobs.
Right. I looked at it, I laughed at it, and I said, this is not going to be enjoyable.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
I really enjoyed it. So
we were like cheering, clapping, laughing, hollering, hooting. And it's ridiculously simple. The concept is so simple.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, you can get it. It's, I don't even know. As I'm playing this and I'm laughing about it, I'm like, all throughout the time we were playing, it's like, this is stupid. This is so much stupid. Y'all, you keep playing? And it's like, this is stupid. Yeah. And it's like, this is not. It made me think about what really makes a game fun. Like, what is it that when you play a board game, what makes it fun? And so we played the Flow of History.
Not fun.
Wasn't that much fun. I played Minutes to Midnight. I enjoyed some of the aspects of it. And what I enjoyed about it was that it gave me interesting decisions to make. There was some tension in what I was going to do. There was some but it wasn't enough. It was too long and kind of drug out. Mm-hmm. This little game, what made it fun was the simple idea of watching somebody else fail miserably because they looked at it and saw that the odds were the card was going to be higher that come out, and it was suddenly lower.
Right.
Completely messed them up. And then you see them getting on a roll where they're guessing right. It's kind of like what was that show with the models where they open the case? I always say deal or no deal.
Yeah.
Very little strategy in that game. I mean, it's just randomness.
Just a pick.
But it's fun.
Pick and hope.
Yep. It's fun. This is what this was. And it was fun because it was not only random, but it was not that serious. And it was fun to watch someone else fail miserably. It was so fun when somebody got on a roll and won it. And so I think what makes a game fun, not only do you have to have, it falls into two categories for me. It has to give me interesting decisions. And so a big game, like I think of Star Wars Rebellion, I'm making interesting decisions. I'm moving stuff around. Or it has to provide some sort of tension, like when we're playing Whitechapel. Mm. You love Whitechapel. Not that big on Whitechapel, but there's tension. You're hunting somebody down. Or it has to be so lighthearted that it just provides just a stupid, kind of like Skull. I lop Savvy in with Skull to me.
Yeah.
It's just lighthearted. You really don't care if you win or lose, but it's fun. It's literally fun to watch someone else win or lose. The inverse of it. It's just stupid. It's just stupid fun. And this game was stupid fun. I do not know. Then this came from this. It was. Wait a second.
Stephen Betts, designer.
And if you go to savvygames.uk, and it's savvygames.uk because he's in the UK because he lives in London. Apparently, he does the art and all this stuff and makes it. I guess puts it together.
Mr. Betts.
And Mr. Betts sent us this game and said, "Would you play it?" And I said, "Yes." And then I forgot. And like 4 months later, I'm like, "Oh, hey." He sent us a very British letter, like, "Hey, did you play my game?" I was like, "What? Oh, yeah." Played it, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna send this poor British guy." I was really hoping he didn't know Nigel or like, oh no, I'm not gonna like it, and I liked it. I don't know why we like it, other than it's just stupid fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't dissect things like that.
Well, I know
how it makes me feel.
I've been dissecting a lot of different games that
cats. You shouldn't do that though. Only in science class.
It's for science.
So you say.
It's for science. Certain games that we play that we like, and why do we like them? Gabi is obsessed with Steam Time. And
I'm not obsessed.
Steam Time.
I just like it.
Is nothing but just stuff. And there's like no theme. The theme is like you're traveling through time using steam, and there's crystals, and there's airships.
On my airship of steam,
and
time?
It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But it's this semi-worker placement. You got basically 3 moves that you can make up this track, and if you go past these certain actions, well, then you can't backtrack. And you just collect crystals and do things and get points.
Time crystals, obviously.
And there's like 5 or 6 different types of time crystals, as you well aware.
Yeah, they power the steam
power
engines.
the steam. Because I don't know why these...
Makes perfect sense.
I don't know why these ivory crystals cause you to gain victory points, but they do.
And don't forget Doctor Who's in it.
Yeah, Doctor Who. It's Doctor Who's in it. Dr. Steam.
You advance time far enough, Doctor Who shows up. He's like, "Hey,
you're screwing up the continuum."
Makes no sense, but I like it. Kind of like well, we talked about Raiders of the North Sea a little bit, but Jerry's not a big fan of Raiders of the North Sea.
I have grown to enjoy it,
but he's enjoying a little bit more because I forced him to play. But Raiders of the North Sea it like soothes my soul.
It's simple. And it's interesting.
I'm a simple man.
It's interesting that you brought Raiders and Steam Time up. Is that they are both very simple, and they offer either do this or do that. And like each time you're about to make a move, there's not tons of choices. It's, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? I think I'll do this. That is very soothing. That's very enjoyable. And there are like a few different strategies to try, but for the most part, you're either going to do this or you're going to do that.
Right.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I like to clear my mind playing something like Raiders or something like even Steam Time. I enjoyed Steam Time more. The more I play it, the more I like it. But then I like to move on and play
like a sorbet. After you eat lobster. Kevin sorbet.
Hercules?
This is not my world.
That was a great show.
Disappointed. I never watched it.
I thought you were more of a Xena man.
Well, yeah. Who wouldn't be? Because she was a Cylon the whole time.
Yeah.
Nobody ever knew.
Rocked my world. She lived. That's what I like to think, is that they crash landed and she survived and she lived to be Xena.
Gabrielle didn't make it, though.
That was sad. But I like to play something simple and then play something more that's...
Well, even like the Manhattan Minutes to Midnight, I mean... You were going through the rules, and my brain is fried because there's so many places to go, and all those things did so many different other things, and so your strategy could be all over the place. What you're going to do,
and I don't like that. I don't like there to be a whole lot of minutia out there. There's a whole lot of different ways to go. I like something that gives pause about what I'm trying to do. Barony does that.
Yeah.
Lorenzo does that.
Yeah.
Shogun does that. There's just a lot. Shogun's an old one, but it's a nice example of something that is not particularly straightforward in what you're doing. You have to really think and delve into it.
Via Nebula, another. I guess basically what I'm saying is, and we've said this repeatedly, is I tend to lean more towards the lighter end of the spectrum. I would rather play any of those ones we just mentioned over Minutes to Midnight or... Well, no, I guess that's not true.
Well, I don't think...
like Eclipse, I love Eclipse.
I'm glad you've come over to the dark side on that one.
Mombasa is not... It's got maybe 4 or 5 different things you can do, but they're pretty clear.
That's not light. Mombasa is a deep strategy game. Yeah. But yet, once you've learned it, it offers a very soothing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. These are my different strategies. You pick a strategy and then it kind of streamlines you down that path. I
like a game I'm playing, and as it's being explained, or at least in the first few moves, I feel it click in my brain. Yeah. Like I know exactly what I'm doing, and that's what those do for me.
Well, I think that the more games I have played here recently, the more I'm realizing. And this is why we will never be sponsored by anybody. This is because...
Yeah, this is why.
I think that... I honestly think that they're...
Dismissed 2 episodes ago.
There are just games that I enjoy, and when they bring out something new, if it's not just phenomenal, if it does not straight up kill what I already have, I don't want it. I don't want it.
You're not going to get on the Eric Lang train?
I'm not on that train. I don't like the whole, we've made something that's similar to what we just had, but it's got miniatures in it.
Mm-mm.
I'm not into that.
I'm out.
I'm out.
I do like miniatures, though.
I enjoy miniatures. I enjoy painting them, but that's about it. You will not sell me on a game just because it looks good.
No.
It has to have that certain... think of all the cube pushing games that we have played.
Oh, yeah.
That we enjoy, that have very poor mechanics, but very poor.
Because it doesn't matter. Like we just said, that Savvy game. That's it's one of the cheapest game to ever build, but it was stupid fun.
Yeah.
King is Dead, just cubes. Shogun, just cubes. But they are amazingly simple, but with strategy.
Now the game. And now I want to regress a little bit, talking about the simple but yet strategy. We just played also Karuba, the card game. Now the card game in Karuba is very simple. Took like 2 minutes to learn it. You draw 3 cards, you pick 2, you flip them over. The cards all have numbers on them. Whoever has the lowest number has to discard one of their cards, and you're building this 4x4 maps basically. And on those cards, they have little roads and explorers on it, and you're just trying to build a map and have a continuous pathway from this blue explorer to this blue temple, and that gets you victory points. It's very much Carcassonne type. You're laying set of tiles, you're laying cards. I do not like Carcassonne. I've never really enjoyed Carcassonne. I didn't like Karuba the card game because it was too light, but it did not have the stupid fun aspect to it. Like there was no, I didn't care what you were doing. I didn't care what was Enrique.
It's like connect the dots.
Yeah. I'm not really caring what anybody else is doing. You're not really affecting me. So it was light, but there was no real interaction. There was no real deep thinking on the matter. Another light game, and I use this in comparison, Hanakanoji, 2-player light game. You only got 4 actions, but that game will fry your brain.
Hanami Koji.
What'd I say?
I don't know, but it wasn't that.
Hanakanoji?
That's not it.
What is it?
Hanama Koji.
One of those.
We don't know.
It's great. But I like a game that is simple in its presentation.
Provides tension. There's no tension in Karuba. I think with a small, simple game, there's got to be some tension.
There's got to be either a take that. All right, look at Jaipur. I have played Jaipur on Board Game Arena probably more than any other card game. I love Jaipur because it is a distinct back and forth. Do I take this card? I never hear anybody playing Jaipur anymore. When that came out, that was like something I just kept hearing.
They just come out with the app.
Did they? Mm-hmm. I need to get the app. Jaipur is probably one of my favorite 2-player card games. It was like, if you remember, this is going to touch your heart. That was the first 2-player card game we ever played. Oh, that was one of the first card games we ever played.
Me and you?
Yep. I come over to your house, and it was like, oh, nobody's here.
Did you put that in your diary?
No, I just remember sitting down.
Oh.
I'm sitting down and thinking, I don't like this game. I don't want to play this game. And then immediately it was like, well, you either have to take these camel cards or you have to take this card. I'm like, oh, it's set collection. I sat here and realized, oh, no, this game's really smart. Because you have this thing of trading out cards. I'm like, oh, and I loved it. And I've been obsessed with Jaipur. Played on the, like I said,
well, even Lost Cities. I don't think you're as crazy about it as I am, but I like Lost Cities because it's the tension of is the card you need going to come out, and if it does, is somebody else going to snag it? Blah blah blah. There's got to be some tension in a small game.
I think what I'm trying to distill all this down is, whenever you get on the YouTube, whenever you get on Cool Stuff, whenever you get on Board Game Geek and you see the hotness and you see all this new games being released, don't buy into the hype. Step back. Play something that is classic. Find that game that you just thoroughly enjoy and stop buying all this new junk and just play what you know is good. I get more irritated when we get together and we spend all of our time trying to learn a new game or play a game that is just not what it turns out we played 3 or 4 new games, didn't like any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or
like we did today.
We played them like, we're wasting our time. We need to play
2 games you brought.
I know. And I just
So stop buying them.
those were Kickstarter.
Well, stop Kickstarting.
I've kept my promise though. I've not purchased
Okay.
this year.
I have.
I know.
Have I?
Yeah, you have.
I slowed down.
You slowed down.
My wife took away my credit cards.
That's great. I will
So now I
say.
don't have
I
any
will
money?
say. What did I purchase? I purchased Concordia salsa for Concordia because I
Oh.
love Concordia. I want to play
So
Concordia.
what is it? Add salsa to the mix?
It's salt.
No, seriously.
No, that's salt.
Oh, salsa is salt?
Apparently, it's the like Latin for it.
Greek. Oh, Latin.
I don't know. Don't quote me on that. It's been a
Let's
long
see.
day.
We have it right here.
It's right here. Salsa.
Oh,
I'm pretty. It adds salt,
interesting.
not pepper.
It's not paste picante.
No.
Hmm.
Get a rope. Either way, I just think that people spend too much time buying and trying to learn games that are not the most.
I agree. Empires of the Void too, though. We need to play that one more time and figure out if we like it or not.
Empires of the Void 2. I'm not feeling it.
Was that your Kickstarter too?
Yeah, it was another Kickstarter. It was one that I'm just.
You went crazy last year buying Kickstarter.
I did. I Kickstarted a lot of stuff, and I've been disappointed consistently.
Most of it.
I've been, it's not, and I'm not just ragging on Kickstarter. I'm ragging on just this idea of being compelled to buy something new when you know what you like is on your shelf already.
The fear of missing out.
Yeah, that's an action.
FOMO is real.
That's true. Because everyone's like YOLO, all the kids.
Actually, if we think about it, if we really think about it,
I'm
the
thinking
last several games that we have really liked and really crowed about have been super simple, basic games. Majesty for the Realm, Savvy. I can't remember what else.
Pit Crew.
Yeah, that was,
Pit Crew is pretty
that was a
simple.
little while back though.
The King is Dead is very simple.
Just
Concordia is
simple
very
games.
simple.
Simple games. Barony simple.
Barony. is very
Royals.
simple. Royals. is very
Lorenzo. Lorenzo's not quite as simple, but once you get it, it's a simple game. It's not complicated. So don't overextend yourself trying to get these brain burners that are supposed to be so awesome, and you can do this, and this, and that. Open sandbox style. Pass.
Some people enjoy that. Some people really think
Yeah, I
that's
know.
their
Each their own.
to each their own. But
But as for me and mine, keep it simple.
I want to get off here, and I want to play either Santiago
Okay.
or Barony or Gold West, something of that nature.
Do you know how to play Santiago?
Yes, I do.
Well, let's play it because we never played it.
All right.
Mark that one off the list.
I'll mark it off the list.
All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this week.
So, BGG Spring, Memorial Day weekend in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas Airport, whatever it is, international. Myself will be there. Enrique might be there if I don't strangle him. Bubba will be there. Gabi will not be there, unfortunately, but he'll be there in spirit. And we're very much looking forward to knocking off some games on the list and seeing what has been nominated for the Spiel this year, seeing if it's anything of interest. Of course, I don't particularly ever think the Spiel winners are that great,
No.
but to each their own. All right, I'm out of here.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.